I'm not going to beat around the bush here. The Switch is what the Wii U should have been. Perhaps the Wii U was a necessary technical step that Nintendo had to take in order to get us to the Switch. Who knows? But right now, we're about a month away from the release of Nintendo's new games console mobile hybrid thing, and everyone is either excited, cautious, or salty. But what do I think of the Nintendo Switch? Well, it's got a few pros, but it also has quite a few cons. I like to hear my bad news sandwiched between good news, so I'm going to tell you something good about the Switch, followed by something negative about the Switch. Let's do this! Yeah, this is a vague statement, but if you're going to be looking to play the latest Mario or Zelda, well, you can't get that on any other platform. I'm hoping Nintendo continue their experiments in creating new IPs like they did with Splatoon. ARMS, for example, looks great. Almost a reimagining of Punch-Out, but in an ultra-exaggerated cartoon style. Chances are, if you're a Nintendo fan, you'll be satisfied to own this machine exclusively for Nintendo games. Yes, you're going to get some great fun Nintendo games, but chances are, unless the console can shift 1 million of units within its first couple of weeks, you're probably going to have a lot of difficulty finding true third-party supports. And well, Nintendo caught the larger publishers in the games industry who are happy to drop support if Nintendo don't hit hardware figures, but don't do nearly enough to support some of the smaller developers and help them bring their games to the system. I had seen a few images of all the games announced for the system, and I guess it's looking promising, but I am not sure if it will get those core gamers to part with their cash if they have those games on other platforms. Maybe portability is the key to getting those gamers to buy new hardware though. The Switch's ultimate selling point is that you can play games on the go or at home. The PlayStation Vita was truly one of my favourite handhelds due to its beautiful OLED screen and pure focus on power, but it was killed by Sony's lack of support. I'm sure Nintendo won't do the same thing to the Switch. According to Pro Jared, the Switch's screen is equal or better in terms of graphical quality to the Vita. It also seems that there's very slight graphical impact when going into portable mode, bar the slight downscaling of resolution to about 720p. Those eggheads at Digital Foundry will no doubt run a true analysis once they get their mitts on it. That's a very vague estimation of the battery life expected when playing the Switch. It would have been absolutely amazing to have a consistent 10-hour battery life, making the Switch during those long trips much more viable as a companion. I'm kind of hoping someone figures out how to improve the battery life. My Wii U, for example, it's appalling, and for some reason, it loses its charge when it's not even been turned on for a week. Now, this is really interesting. It could technically counteract one of my previous cons, but it's worth raising this. One of the core messages that Nintendo promoted during its presentation was just how easy it was to develop for the Nintendo Switch. Part of me feels that focusing on the single screen and using traditional controller inputs means that, bar any graphical limitations, the system is pretty much easier to port to than either the Wii or Wii U ever was. I worked with Unity, Game Maker and Monogame for several games in development, and if Nintendo stretched their compatible game engines further away from just supporting Unreal and Unity, we could see a great indie scene rise up from the Nintendo Switch. There's just something cool about making a game for the Nintendo platform. I've worked on games for PC, PlayStation 4, Vita and the Xbox One, and there's still this core drive that makes me want to get something on a Nintendo console because of its heritage. One day. I'm not against motion control. I mean, it has its place, but I just really feel that era of gaming has been done and we don't need to return to it, except for virtual reality. Look, we ditched motion controls on the Wii U in favour of a gyroscopic controller. Now you're returning back to the Wii U with these odd motion controls, and what's worse is that Nintendo have shown one single game that utilises it in 1-2 Switch. Nintendo will forget about this technology, otherwise they would have bundled it in 1-2 Switch with the system to truly get people excited about the motion controls. Reggie came up with this theory that they wanted to keep the price under $300. An extra disc in the case would not have increased the price. The game is only as valuable as you make it out to be, and you've decided that 1-2 Switch is valuable enough to charge for it, but not valuable enough to highlight your fancy new rumble and motion controls that are in the freaking box. Don't you even think about shoehorning motion controls into any major game franchise unless it's a good reason, like a new WarioWare minigame. In fact, here's another con. No WarioWare minigame collection to show off the motion controls and the HD rumble. Okay, so I'm not really upset about the price. There's a lot of tablets out there that match this, but they lack the Focus-like controller support to make it a great standout gaming machine. I'm pretty happy with the price point of $300, and when you consider it's a mixture of home console and mobile, you gotta think that that's a pretty reasonable price. There are a lot of hidden charges that people are raising, like the price to increase internal memory, to pay for a Joy-Con grip controller which charges the Joy-Con, and the price of a Joy-Con themselves and the Pro Controller. What you get in the core system is fine, though I would have probably been happy to have a bigger internal memory. But I'll live for now. Okay, so I have an iPad mini. It gets used to play Netflix, watch YouTube videos and surf the web. At launch, the Switch will not have several key components like Netflix or BBC iPlayer. This means that I'm going to have to take both my Switch and my iPad mini if I want to play games and stream movies or watch TV shows. I was kind of hyped about replacing my iPad mini in favour of just taking a Switch. Hopefully this will be rectified in future, but for now, it just means my backpack increases in weight. With Region 3, we can now play some of those crazy Japanese games on the Switch. Brilliant. I used to do this a lot on the PlayStation 3 and the original Nintendo DS, so yeah, really pleased about this. The Miiverse was one of the best things Nintendo did with the Wii U, and now it's gone. Good job, Nintendo. So in summary, is the Switch worth getting? I hope that my list of pros and cons will be at least a step in the right direction to assist you in your own purchasing decision. Am I getting one? Of course I am! I can't wait for a portable Just Dance where I can boogie in public while waving a selection of plastic peripherals. It's what gaming was truly building towards.